my name's Angeli MacFarlane and I am a script editor. I became a script editor by working in a development department of a small production company many years ago, and I discovered this great love for reading screenplays and working with writers in particular, and so it just kind of happened from there really, and I've stayed in that sort of sector of the industry for most of my career. I've also worked as a development executive, which means I've worked in quite bigger companies where I've also therefore been across a slate of projects and developed new talent through various funding schemes. So I've had that side of the process, which I think has been useful for me because it's allowed me to be both an editor working for the producer seeking funding and also sitting on the other side of the desk where I've been in situations where there is funding being handed out. Therefore I'm aware of what people look for in projects, how people want to support emerging talent or new talent and how that sort of works. So kind of both sides of the development coin, if you like. So that's been my process really, is doing both. And in fact, I still do both. So yes, I'm what is it? I'm poacher and gamekeeper. Yes. Obviously, I think if you want to bring a script editor on board, sometimes it's a requirement in a funding situation, and that obviously therefore means that you've got access to script editors who might be good for you. But I think producers, when they've got a writer with a new project or a new writer, trying to develop a project onward, the important questions for the producer to ask are what the project needs. So where is it at in terms of the process of its development? How many drafts in is it? And therefore, what is the next perceived stage? So if a producer is trying to put a project into the funding system, what do they actually need? Do they need a script editor to help the writer produce selling documents? So a really well-written synopsis, a really good assessment of the project's sort of intrinsic creative values, what its themes are, what its meaning are, or is this really just about straightforward sitting in a room with a writer, getting them to the next draft level? There are all sorts of considerations, and I think that's what's really important, to find the right person, because you need the right level of experience depending on what kind of documentation the writer has to produce. Sometimes it's a treatment, sometimes, as I said, it's an outline, sometimes it's a script. So where is it at in its journey, and therefore what do you want from your script editor? I think it's very important to think about that when you're thinking about hiring someone. There are lots of people around who do script editing, so obviously word of mouth is one of the big ways people get recommended. But one of the most important questions is, what do you want? I think as a producer, what are you hoping is your next step with your project? So what do you need the writer to do? What sort of help do they need to achieve that next step? I will work on any genre. I'm not genre-led. I remember someone hiring me once because they'd been told by somebody that I was really good with thrillers because I have a kind of forensic mind, which was news to me. I like thrillers personally, but that's because I watch a lot of them, but that's not the point at all. For me, it's all about the talent. It's all about the team. It's all about the writer, producer, director. It's about whether or not we can communicate with each other, where I recognise a situation where there is a shared nurturing of the project and there's a shared goal. And if it's slightly off kilter, there's a way of putting that straight and moving the project along. That's what matters. It's the people. Really, bottom line, always the people. Because actually, if a film is worth nurturing, it's worth nurturing because of the people who are going to make it.